Welcome to She Rises Up podcast with Lara Calaf and Gemma Ramirez. Here we want to empower, uplift, and elevate you with conscious conversations aimed to unify business and consciousness.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to She Who Rises Up, the podcast delivered to you by Lara Calaf and Gemma Ramirez. I'm Gemma, and today we have a really exciting theme to talk about, which came from choosing a card, which we normally do just for fun, and it normally picks the right theme for the day. Today's theme is something that we really love, and we both teach to the women that we coach and train. We're going to talk about having a clear vision and inspired action, not only in your life, but in your business, in everything you do. So welcome, Lara.
Well, hello to you, Gemma. Good morning. Greetings to all the ladies
Greetings.
who are listening to us today. And because these are very impromptu kind of conversations, we literally, before starting recording the podcast, we have literally 5 minutes to see what we're going to talk about, but we don't even know how we're going to start these conversations, right?
No.
And the intention is to emulate how real conversations are, right? So Shall we get started with that?
Let's get started. And actually, what you just said, because that's what we actually do. We meet a few minutes before, we pick a card and we talk about it. And it just come out as a normal conversation that Lara and I would have normally. And that's why, it works because we have a clear vision, both of us. We know what our vision is for the world. Maybe sometimes I'm speaking for myself now. I lose my personal vision sometimes because of circumstances of life, but I know what my soul vision is, and that's what gave me inspired. So that's why whatever card we pick, we know that the theme is going to be the perfect one, and we will have things to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what was coming to my mind now, Gemma, is that since the energy of this podcast is the feminine energy, and also the feminine energy is a very flow energy, right?
Yeah.
So we trust that whatever we're going to be talking about is going to be the right thing and the right
Yes.
insights are going to come through.
Yeah.
So I have then a question for you. When we picked this card and we said clear vision and inspired actions, what were the first thoughts that came to your mind? What were the insights that came to your mind that you would like to share with our
Yeah, thank you,
listeners?
Lara. I love that you mentioned the feminine energy of the podcast, and that doesn't mean it's just feminine energy. This is all about, we live in a time where we are integrating feminine and masculine, and the vision for me is the masculine, is setting the direction where you want to go, but at the same time, because it's a clear vision, it comes from the soul. So you know what your mission is, what your soul mission is, what you came here to do. And this is your masculine setting up a direction. It's like the river. A river has the water that flows, and that's the feminine energy. But it has the river knows where it's going, and that's the masculine. That's the vision. So the vision is the masculine setting the direction, but the inspired action comes from the feminine that flows within that vision. That's why both are so needed, and they come together, because the clear vision on its own, it's nothing, it's just a dream. But with the inspired action of the feminine, it gets the water flowing, getting somewhere. So it gets you somewhere. So that's the first thing that I thought about, how perfectly in harmony the clear vision and the inspired action go together, being the feminine and the masculine. And talking about leadership, which is what we both love teaching and inspiring our women to do, to me, the main thing, that the main function of a leader is to hold the vision. Whether you're a man or a woman, is to hold the vision and make sure that everyone around know what your vision is. And when you are so inspired by it, your vision becomes a dream that people feel magnetized to. And that's your main activity as a leader, to hold the vision. Is a huge responsibility, and at some point the vision will have a life on its own, and other people will be involved, and we will share your vision as well. That's the beauty of it.
Interesting. Yeah, absolutely. And is there anything else actually before I share some of the insights that I had that are related, but also very different to what you've shared, which is the beauty of this conversation, right? That so we could see it from different angles as well. Is there anything else, when it comes to clear vision and inspired action? What insights are you getting?
I love the word inspiration, inspirational leadership. And I follow a man called Lance Secretan who actually teaches and talks about inspirational leadership. And inspiration, he says, comes from within. It's an inside job, as opposed as motivation, for example, which is outside of you. Motivation comes from outside. You have to get motivated to get out of the room if there is a fire, for example. But inspiration is the actual thing that inspires your soul and ignites the passion and the fire within you. And that inspiration comes when you have a clear vision. It's very, very much tied up with the light of your soul, the mission of your soul. So they go very much together. So having a clear idea what inspiration and motivation are and the differences, I think is really important, because motivation has a very short life, while inspiration is forever. It just goes for as long as the river goes.
Right. Wow. Yes. Right. Do you want me to share some of the insights that I had?
I love to hear what you have to share, Lara.
Oh my God. Okay, so let's go. It's interesting that I had a different aspects of a different insight. The first one is, have I lost my vision? Now, vision, it's not the vision about my life, but also my ability to see things beyond to what is in front of me, right? So that is the insight that I was getting there. So that the first question that I'd like to ask our listeners, by the way, we love asking questions. This is what we do as coaches, right? We ask questions and we want to believe that we're very good at it. So the first one is, have I lost my vision? Have I lost, and if I haven't lost my vision, where's that vision coming from? Is it an inspired vision, or is it a vision that I am holding to myself because I'm supposed to have in it, right? So that is what was coming to my mind. And also with the craziness that's happening in the world right now, I would say that of course we could still have a vision, right? That the fact that there is a perception that the world is on standstill doesn't mean that my life is also on standby, right? It means that I could still create my vision. I could still create some actions. And in regards to actions and the difference between action and inspired action, I don't know about you, Gemma, but I've been, watching, and with the work that we do and everything else and conversations that we had, there was a lot of, we are very used to being action oriented, right? As a society, especially in the Western world, right? Especially in the Western world. So what happens then when all of a sudden so many people started spending more time at home, right? And luckily both you and I had years of experience already being at home, right? Working from home for a number of years.
Thank God, yeah.
Exactly. So we're able also to support our ladies in a deeper way from that perspective. And what happened is that I continued to be in an action-oriented mode, even though these things were to take a list of a to-do list rather than doing something that I was supposed to do. So for example, if I don't know, so let's talk for example with the meditation, right? So if meditation is not for me for whatever reason, or if a certain meditation practice is not for me, I am not going to do it following somebody else's structure if that is not what suits me.
Yeah.
Right now, I know, for example, that meditation, we rave about that ourselves, but then it has to come from within. It is when I am ready, and also within the setup. For example, if my meditation practice is to be walking and meditating, I'm not going to be sitting with crossed leg to meditate if this is not my style of meditation, right? For example. So this is what it means by inspired action, is the one that actually ignites our soul. That is the one that brings joy into it, not because of I have to do it because I'm supposed to be doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that is the difference between action
Yes.
and inspired action.
Yeah.
So it's, am I doing it because I'm supposed to be doing it, or am I doing it because it's bringing me joy and it's bringing me, and it's fun and it's enhancing my life and my existence and my soul at deeper level.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. And it's so in sync with what I'm experiencing right now, because I mean, you mentioned that have I lost my vision? And to me, recently, because of life circumstances, I kind of had to put a stop to my vision, to my work for some time, and now it's taking me a while to fully come back to it. So it's great that you asked that question, because I'm feeling that yes, it is my vision. Have I lost it? No, I haven't. It's just life circumstances maybe haven't been supportive. Maybe the inspired action that you take at some point is not continuing to take action, but to stop and to rest and to rethink and to feel, is it really my vision? And go from there. So sometimes the action is resting time. And in the resting time, you gather your strength again to continue with your vision. And sometimes you need to rest for as long as you think, and you have to let it go. And to let go, like Lara was saying, we have to tick boxes, and we used to that. And we're living in a different world right now, led by inspired action. And inspired action sometimes is not sometimes, it's not linear. It's not linear. So some days you're going to be not doing anything, and it's okay if that's what your body needs, what your mind needs. If you need rest, if you need to do something different because you have something else is happening in your life. Something that me and Lara talk about a lot recently is letting joy be the guide. Let joy be the guide. This is giving me joy. Like recording today's podcast is giving me so much joy. I get up in the morning just waiting for the time that I meet Lara and record this. Other things are not giving me that joy. So maybe then I need to ask myself, are they part of my vision? Do I need to let it go? What's going on here? So again, it's going within and finding that inspiration where it's taking you. What action is the next one to take from your clear vision?
Indeed. And the thought that was coming to my mind is that, yes, we can still be inspired these days. Yes, we can still have a vision these days. Yes, we could still be empowered these days, right? So
Absolutely.
I'm not letting or I'm not putting a stop, or I'm not putting a wall to my own life because of everything that's happening in the world right now. Yes, circumstances are very different. Yes, the circumstances are very extreme these days, but I could still be inspired, and I could still have a vision, and I could still move forward with my life if that is what you choose to if that's what you choose to do, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
a few thoughts was also coming to my mind. So how can we do that? And the concept of habits, came to my mind. and 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 I would like to ask our listeners two questions. Of the last, well, almost a year, 9 months, right, since we started with lockdowns and quarantines, what habits have I acquired that are not inspired, right, or are not serving me? And which ones have I lost that I should reinstate in my life, right? And the reason I'm saying that, because we've spent quite already a good chunk of time, that is 9 months, which is enough time to develop new habits that might not serve us at all. And also could have lost habits that we need to bring back into our lives. And again, always from a place of inspiration, because that is a good thing for you, rather than because this is what I'm supposed to do. There is a trend of doing, I'm making this up right now, Zumba, right? Online Zumba. Well, if you don't like Zumba, don't do Zumba. Right, so don't do it. Even if it's being recommended every way, don't do it if it doesn't align with your soul. Like, for example, it's very
Yeah.
interesting that I know that I need to include more physical activity into my life, and and the thought of exercising, it doesn't bring me joy.
Mm.
And I've been looking for other ways of exercising my body until I said, okay, how about if I start dancing? I can
Mm-hmm.
dance, right? So this morning, actually,
Yeah.
I've signed up to a dancing membership online in order to bring that activity, to bring that physical movement,
Yeah.
and introduce it in my life. So yeah, it's about, I would say, let's look at our habits. Let's look as well at what habits have I lost, and what habit do I need to bring back, or which ones I've acquired that actually don't serve me anymore.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's so beautiful, and that gives me the insight that yeah, many people have started working from home, like I was saying earlier, for the first time, and I know how difficult it is because yeah, it sounds oh great working from home. I don't have to commute. I can be in my pajamas, blah blah, but it can lead you astray. It really can because it's a totally different way of working. If you have your partner or your children at home as well, it can be really, really difficult. You have to be really focused. If possible, have a special place for you to go and work. So it's a change of life completely. And then that's when habits come along, and the different environment, how the environment is going to affect you, knowing that environment is stronger than your will of going to work and doing the things properly. So that's when having your vision and knowing what you want is really important, and knowing your purpose and having clarity, because that is what's going to guide you every day to do what you need to do. And I mean, we've all experienced it. We've all experienced it. Even me and Lara, who have been working from home for a long time, it's just different because of what's been happening in the world. It's very, very different. And having that vision and inspiration that leads you from the soul is must be what keeps you going every single day. And I'm talking here for myself as well. So again, going back to the joy, what brings you joy, the habits, and the vision, and the inspired action are things that will help you move forward in these changing worlds. And we can also take what's happening in the world as a challenge and see how our capacity to adapt and be flexible with the new circumstances. You're able to get to know yourself much better, and adapt from that, and build new habits from that. So flexibility and adaptation are skills that are going to be needed in the world we're going and where we are right now. So things to
Yes.
things to ponder about. How flexible are
Yeah.
you? How adaptable are you to new things?
Yes, yes. Do you know, as I'm listening to you, and this is the beauty of these conversations that are very impromptu as well, right? As we mentioned earlier, it's that talking about vision, so clear vision. Also, what I'm thinking is, what am I choosing not to see? What am I choosing not to see? Right?
Mm.
Um, and the figure of the see no evil, hear no evil,
Mm-hmm.
right? Speak no evil. The three monkeys. And now,
Yeah.
since we're talking about vision, so if our listeners could imagine us covering our eyes right now, if I'm supposed to be having a clear vision, it means that I need to remove those hands from in front of my eyes. So
Yeah.
what is it that I am not seeing that I should be seeing?
Mm.
What is it that I'm seeing that I'm not seeing that I should be seeing? And also something else, if I was to go slightly deeper, like for example, I came back from Madrid. I live between Madrid and London, and I've been traveling even over the last year or so. And I was getting back to London the other day, and I was thinking about, can we still get empowered these days? And the answer is 100% we can. Of course we can,
Yes.
if this is what I choose to, right? If I choose to do
Exactly.
that.
Mm.
Now, what I also believe, that one of the best ways to empower ourselves is through healing.
Yeah.
is through healing, right? And we could talk
Absolutely.
about, maybe in the future we could talk about different ways of we could do that, or different
Mhm.
ways that are not very mainstream ways of getting empowered. We could discuss that another time.
Mm.
But healing, it's such an important, it should be almost like the uh, action that it needs to be done in order for us to get that clear vision, right?
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely, because also talking about vision, it's what blind spots do I have within me that I am not seeing, that
Yeah.
potentially is not allowing me to have a bigger vision in my life, and the next step would be to take those inspired actions, right? So again, it's about going, we insist a lot, and you will see throughout the podcast in the future, if you choose to listen to us, is that we insist a lot that inner game is the game, right?
Yeah.
Inner game
Yeah.
is the aim.
Absolutely.
So we have to do the inner work, and inner work comes with a lot of healing.
Absolutely.
So yeah, healing the blind spots, so I'm able to see what there is to be seen.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because obviously we all want to know what our purpose is. How many people come to us? I want to find my purpose, or what's my vision? I don't know what to do in my life. But you have to know that once you set up yourself in your soul's purpose, in your vision, there's a huge responsibility of going within, like Lara was saying, and do the healing. Because to get to, I mean, the vision is for you. It might be a vision that you think is for the world, but ultimately you have to get there and get the people to follow you to your vision. So the vision is for you, and that path will take you to the path of healing, of inner knowing, of knowing yourself, of changing yourself to get that vision. That's your destination, and the beauty of it is that you're going to enjoy the path. Sometimes it's going to be flowing very easily, sometimes you're going to be feeling that you lost your vision, but ultimately once you know the vision is there, and you get there by inner work and healing and transformation. That's the beauty of it. Mm.
Wow, wow. So to start wrapping up this conversation,
Mm.
Gemma, what are there any hows? Because we're talking, I think was it yesterday or before yesterday? I
Yeah,
don't know. Maybe this morning,
I think
right?
it was, yeah, could be.
that there's a lot of what happening, right? There's a lot of what.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there's a lot of inspired how.
Mm.
So are they, to summarize the conversation, what inspired hows can you share with our ladies so they can embrace this conversation?
Mm.
What
Mm.
practical inspired hows?
Yeah, yeah, I love that because yeah, we were saying there's so many news coming out, and then people are left with, okay, well, I know what's happening and I can choose whatever I choose to believe, but then what do I do with this information? How do I change? So how do you find your clear vision? How do you find inspired action? What is going within, and the ways of going within, it can be so varied with whatever it resonates with you. Lara mentioned meditation. If that's for you, mindfulness, use it to get your inspired vision. You might not get it on the first day, but you continue doing, set the intention and do it. Get a coach, get some help. The power of questioning will go deep within you, and you will come out knowing your vision. So get a coach, into a coach program with someone that you resonate with. Get a program. There's lots of programs out there that help you to find what your purpose in life is. Go for a walk, get into nature, whatever it is that inspires you, whatever it is that brings you joy. Use that as a tool to get to know what your vision is, what your inspired action is. What is it that tickles your fancy that you really, really want to do in the world? That will give you a big clue. But the ultimate the ultimate thing that will help you is to get to know yourself through the healing. So find out. I mean, you can ask us if you want, what can I do, what things resonate with me, and we can support you with questionings to get there and see what is it that you like doing and you enjoy doing, to go within and find out what is it that your heart desires to bring into the world and who you want to become.
Excellent.
What about you, Lara? Do you have any
Yes,
house to
of
share with?
course. We have to, right? We
We
have
have
to.
to.
So absolutely. So I would make healing a priority. Healing a priority. Healing is nothing else but releasing, right? Healing is
Indeed.
releasing. So I
Indeed.
am releasing that in which I no longer need. So healing. You said questioning. Oh my God, questioning.
Mm.
I love questioning. We need to question. I question me all the time. I question my actions. Question, because the deeper the question, the deeper the answer. Superficial questions will get me to a superficial answer,
Yeah.
right? So a question is super important, right?
Yeah.
And then I would say review your habits. Review your habits.
Mm-hmm.
The habits that you no longer need, the habits that you need. Maybe you had habits that served you in the past that actually in the current circumstances are not, we need to revamp and we need to renew them. So have a look at the habits. And I would say also to give yourself a space every day to
Mm.
settle into your own energy field before we even get started throughout the day. Because how many times do we wake up and the first thing we do is either check social media, we check emails, and that is, before even brushing our teeth. So I would say, how about if we were to make a commitment that in order for me to start reconnecting to myself is to settle in my energy field first thing in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And then do whatever brings joy into your habits. So
Yeah.
habits, healing, questioning. And then I love a mantra that I learned from a lady a few years ago that I love so much. And the mantra says, today I am going to see what there is to see, to feel what there is to feel, and to know what there is to know. Right? Today I'm going to see what there is to see, to feel what there is to feel, and to know what there is to know, as a beautiful mantra to start reconnecting to yourself, which is one of the points that Gemma was mentioning, to get to know you. So this is it from me, Gemma.
Oh, I love the mantra. I love it. Please send it to me. Just one last thing to add, that healing, because some people hear healing and it's like, oh God, it can be beautiful, it can be transformational, it can be quick. And it can be from not necessarily something that you don't enjoy. It can be done through falling in love, through cooking, through walking in nature, the millions ways that you can heal and release yourself. So don't think that is a, oh God, I have to go within. And it can be beautiful and it can be joyful. So yeah, open to it, because it will transform you and it will transform your life and your business.
Yes. Thank you. And
Thank you.
until next conversation.
Mhm.
Goodbye, ladies. Goodbye.
Goodbye, all. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. And please do like us and share the podcast so that other people can get inspired and maybe have a clear vision. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lara.